Hey everybody, it is Eric, it is Nick. We are back from Button Terrible, and one of the quirks of California geography is that the armpit of the state is actually the butt. Okay, the butt is Buttonwillow Raceway Park in Buttonwillow in the Central Valley of California. So why does it have such an endearing nickname? Well, it's hot and sweaty and generally flat. You know, like your butt.
On the subject of butt, here's something that's butt terrible, or should I say butt tragic. This is car number 999. The team name is Real 24-Hour of Le Mans Class Winner Rick Knoop. The reason why they're called that is because that's a dude on their team. So they got a Miata, sounded kind of suspicious, and that's because it's got a rotary swap out of a RX-7. And speaking of sounds, about halfway through day one, they had this minor mechanical issue that was one of those ones that was kind of a head turner in the paddock. A little while after that, the team showed up in the penalty box with this gift.
On the subject of butt terrible, S&S Blue Racing were back with their 06 BMW 750 Li. Now, you may remember this car from last year for not running or not starting or not really doing anything because of electrical problems. The good news is they fixed it by putting an LS in it, and the LS worked. The engine ran great. The transmission, not so much. They weren't really sure what was up with the flex plate on the automatic transmission. Again, turned 0 laps. Enough about the motor, though. We were more interested in the Bearway tires.
All the road with Bearway.
Distilled Racing was back with their completely awesome 41 Ford. We've done a Lemons World episode on this car. They also have this incredible paddock transportation machine. We should probably do a Lemons World feature on that. And for this race, they added yet another twist, which was distributing distilled goods after hours to folks in the paddock.
And we love the Donut A-Holes Honda Civic, and they added this sweet exhaust monster on the back. That's pretty great, but all of that was overshadowed by their paddock transportation. All that said, your Donut A-Hole theme, how do you not bribe the judges with donuts?
Donuts.
Presiding over the butt was our esteemed Judicial panel with Sajeev, Julian, and myself, along with Jason Torchinsky of the Autopian in absentia on Sunday. We brought some great penalties. Earlier this year, we introduced the Kraft cheese penalty, which was created by Judge Jen's daughter, which is awesome. So all you do, you take a slice of American cheese and you throw it on the hood of the car, and it sticks and makes this disgusting polymer on the car almost immediately.
64 slices of American cheese.
It was gross when Judge Jen's daughter introduced it at CMP in April. It was way grosser on a hot and sweaty day in the butt. We also tied a hockey hobo to the roof and got spectacular results.
Remember, it's only 10 miles an hour here in the paddock. I'm here to remind you about it because I suck at driving, okay?
Had some classics, including a horrific Bob Ross interpretation and a few good Bart Simpsons. Judge Jason is an expert on automotive weird history, so he had an ID the taillight penalty that he hand drew moments before issuing the penalty. And we had a couple of the more overzealous teams slow their roll slightly by putting together puzzles as a team.
We've seen this team with the Volkswagen New Beetle before, and they were back this time with the brand new Big Lebowski theme. Now, it turns out one of their team members is in a pretty decent rock band, and the after party to the Saturday night potluck was a concert in front of the garages by this team.
Also hella sweet, the Transmero, aka the 420 team, aka Indiana Stoned, and a bunch of other teams were having their 20th Lemons race this weekend, and fittingly, the car was smoking all weekend.
Speaking of smoke, the Backdraft Brigade was back. This is our team of LA City firefighters. Now, a couple of years ago, they did a whole firefighter routine during tech, and that was great until it became real life when their Mazda 3 race car caught on fire. This time, the replacement car, which is a Miata, did not catch on fire, so they spent all of their effort on their after-hours paddock bar, with all of the proceeds going to Lemons of Love.
The rookies of 9-Speed Racing brought an Audi TT, which is of course a fine German roadster, but these guys decided to show how great American engineering is by doing their own double-reinforced, gigantic, comically oversized wing. I mean, just look how smooth the surface of this wing is. It's like butter.
Your job is to spoil the air for everybody else.
Here's the Table for One Racing BMW. We've seen this car a bunch of times, and one of their drivers is a guy named Rick James.
Yeah, I remember grinding my feet at his couch.
Now, this race weekend happened to fall on Rick James's 60th birthday, and the rest of the team members decided to do a surprise theme where they redid the entire car with various embarrassing photos of Rick James, and they even went to the extent of renaming the team for the results, and it was just a great celebration of our friend Rick James.
All right, here are your class winners. Our overall winner was Point Break, which is a Mark IV Volkswagen Golf. Now, Lemons was new in 2006, right after these were still out. I mean, these have aged alongside of Lemons, which means they've aged not very well.
Yeah, Volkswagen Golf. What did Eric just say? They age well? Yeah, maybe I should get one. Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
Your Class B winners were Lexi and the Wallbangers, somehow not a ska band.
Hi, welcome to Wallbangers.
And the Class C win went to Fair Disadvantage. Now, this is a car that has been around forever. It won Class C way back in like 2011. They took a little bit of a break from Lemons, came back, and now they've won Class C again. You may be asking, why don't we move this car up to Class B? Well, that's because it's a completely stock Toyota Paseo, which is essentially a Tercel with either a convertible or a moderately sporty coupe body slapped onto it. Now, if you're going endurance racing, you gotta have the coupe for the increased structural rigidity. In any case, I digress. It's a Class C car, goddammit.
Heroic Fix went to Burnin' Benjamins in their BMW 5 Series. Now, this is a rookie team, and things started off pretty good. They torched the head gasket on Friday during the test day. They found a replacement engine, this one coming from an automatic to replace the manual motor that had blown up. They're slightly different, so they had to convert all of these things, hence the entire yard sale. Took them like 30 hours to put it all back together. They managed to get it back together and ran 76 laps. Finished the race.
Well done. Well done.
I Got Screwed went to Almost Ready Racing. They actually are usually pretty ready. This Escort wagon usually runs great. Not so much this time. At this race, the head gasket went on day one. They swapped in a complete replacement motor. The head gasket then immediately went on that. They were good sports about it, but they got screwed.
The special trophy was the Malcolm Brickland's Marvelous Sausage Tickling Machine, and it went to Viva La Volva and their Subaru Brat, which to date is still the only team to bring a Subaru Brat to Lemons. Malcolm Brickland, of course, is the famous guy who brought Subaru and Brickland to the United States. Like most terrible cars of the Brat's nature, they didn't really need a theme, but this is a team who will never not theme. They were themed as hot dogs dressed as sausages, passing out sausages at the potluck. And when teams were not looking, they were slingshotting tiny wieners at cars passing them in the paddock. All of that is spectacular. However, what really made this an awesome weekend was that they broke the diff mount, and instead of, finding the one welder on site to go fix it, they went to the home improvement store, bought a couple of 2x4s and a ratchet strap, and remounted their diff using wood.
Wood. What can't it do? This message brought to you by the Wood Council.
That's a pretty great weekend, and to boot, they started a weenie mosh pit at the concert on Saturday night. That's hella sweet.
Judge's choice went to Princess Diana and the Hockey Hobos. Now, this is a bunch of old friends who grew up together playing hockey. They've all moved separately to California. They decided to have a reunion at this Lemons race, and they dressed up basically as characters from Slapshot to pay homage to their hockey roots.
Yeah, so Nick, what was the Princess Diana part of the team name?
Don't know. Judge's choice.
Organizer's choice went to the Aerostars, who are racing an Aerostar. Now, this is a vehicle that in almost 2 decades has never been raced in Lemons, and we always love a first. However, this was no normal Ford Aerostar. This was a Ford Aerostar that had belonged to Scaled Composites, which was Burt Rutan's aeronautical space company. They built private spaceship, they built some really crazy airplanes, and this was the minivan that would take people from like the prep room to go to the crazy airplane or spaceship to fly into space. Now, I'm gonna call a timeout on this segment for a second.
Timeout!
You may be asking yourself why Burt Rutan did not go to the launch pad in a Volkswagen Rutan. Well, the answer is, it wasn't out yet, but that should not stop you from finding a Volkswagen Rutan and racing Lemons. All right, back to the segment. So when Scaled Composites was getting rid of stuff, they put this van up for auction, and Scaled Composites engineers wanted it for Lemons, so they paid $200 at auction for it. They used actual decals from Spaceship One on it. It's incredible. The van was slow. Who cares? It's a goddamn Ford Aerostar.
Halloween Meets Gasoline, which is $1,000 going to the team with the best theme, went to Sorry for Party Racing. Now, Sorry for Party always brings great party attitude to Lemons Weekend, but this race, they didn't have a theme, and they figured, I don't know, maybe we'll just sit this one out. But as they're driving to the track, they said, you know what we could do? A Barbie theme. So let this be a lesson to all Lemons teams without a theme. You can come up with something the day of and still win HMG.
Index of Effluency, which goes to the team that does the most with the least, went to Het Loopt in de Soep and the DAF 55. The DAF 55 is a Dutch-built car, and Het Loopt in de Soep translates to, but it also translates to. The DAF is famous for many things, but the thing it's most famous for is having a continuously variable transmission, one of the first cars ever to have it, which means that it goes as fast in reverse as it does in forward, and they race them backwards in the Netherlands.
De dafjes, die gaan met de noodgang en die gaan een enorme klap op. Kijk even wat er gebeurt. Gaat nou mis.
Now, top speed, it turns out, was about 58 miles per hour, which maybe this particular DAF reached during the weekend, so it was comically slow until a full course caution when it ran its fastest lap of the weekend. Nevertheless, it beat dozens of cars being butt-ass slow. That is how you win an Index of Effluency. Oh, and I even forgot to mention, this was Lemons legend Spank running the car, and I think that it was his 13th Index of Effluency, which is the most by a lot. Well done, Spank. Here is Lemons in a nutshell.
Hi!
Uh-oh.
How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Cool, yeah, well, I mean, you're here, right? So that sucks.
It sucks, but you know, you make mistakes, you gotta fix it.
Why do you suck?
I don't have enough track time.
You know, well, this isn't helping, jackass!
Every second you don't subscribe or watch one of these videos, another Vega is sent to the crusher. Won't you help us save Classic?